All right, started.
Okay. So, we can go through these questions, and I don't know how,
Yes.
if you want to try anyways, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, perfect. Okay.
All right. So,
Okay.
Elizabeth,
Yeah.
just for my class, I need to ask you some questions about coaching. And we've talked before about my wanting to help you implement some technology into your curriculum.
Mm-hmm.
And so, just a few questions about that. What is it that you hope technology can do for your teaching?
Well, the way that I think it can really help me right now is the whole idea of socially constructed knowledge. I think when we can have it in one spot, like a Google Doc or something that every kid is participating on at the same time, we can actually get closer to that goal of learning together instead of just as partners or just in small groups of 3, but how can the whole class learn together? So that's what I really want to focus on because we're starting our new investigation on Angel Island. So how can I take it from these individual, crazy, non-technology based recording forms to something that's more whole class?
Okay, and you're looking for the opportunity then to collaborate, have the students collaborate on constructing their knowledge about this new topic.
Yeah.
Cool. So what are your strengths with using technology in the classroom, and what successes have you had?
I think definitely our portfolios that you helped with, just like that transition of going from a paper portfolio to electronic portfolio. I think that was a big success, and I think we can add on to that, and it can just become this those websites can become life or much longer term portfolios. So I think that was cool. And I think anytime we do a big product like that using technology, whether it's they're creating a website or they're writing a song that's going to be recorded and played on somewhere electronically, I think that has been a success. But I think I mostly struggle with the day-to-day, having technology just be part of their daily routine in humanities class.
And have you had any successes with that? Has anything felt good when you've done it in the past? I mean, I know they take out their computers, they use them for certain things.
I mean, they've gotten really good, and we've all gotten good at researching, just figuring out how to really research effectively and efficiently. So that's been good. And web quests have been good. And but there hasn't been, I guess, our attempt with more of the Google Classroom of how giving an exit ticket using that worked well last year, but I just have not pulled it back together this year. Of how to do more of those Friday assessments through the Google Classroom. Cool. I think we could do that. And how can so their vocabulary that they have every day, which is just a really good routine because it tells them what we're going to learn about, but it's just something for everyone to come and do and sit down, and it is a real classroom management tool. But how could that become not writing it on a note card that every kid loses and never finds again, and how could we have that somewhere where they can keep accessing it?
Yeah. Cool. Well, that brings to mind a file in their Google Docs on vocabulary related to this expedition, or
that would be awesome.
Interesting to think about.
Uh-huh.
So where have your struggles been with technology? I mean, for you, what do you see as kind of the big hurdles? Obviously, taking out the computers, logging in, putting them away at the end is obviously a piece of it.
Yeah, and I think now that we have our new block schedule, I think now that we do have, really big chunk of time, I don't think that's as much of a hurdle anymore, because it's we have from 8:30 till 10:15, almost 2 hours of class time, so they should just be able to bring their computers every day and be able to use them. I think it's going to be easier than when it was 1 hour long. So that's been a struggle, but I feel like we can overcome that. I think just for my own self, just becoming more fluent with Google Classroom and just I just need to use things more.
sort of answered this question, but I'll see if there's anything else. Do you have ideas for how to better use technology in your teaching?
Yeah, so I think just collaborating more on final products. So like for this investigation, they create a poem, and then they write the poem and then they illustrate the poem. And it's always just been a really traditional, like, you know, little illustration on one side, poem on the other side. So like ways that I can just kind of upgrade all these products to be more 21st century, not like 1970.
And then maybe just, you mentioned earlier the portfolio thing.
Yeah.
It makes me think too of just how easy it is then to just slip it into their portfolio when
Right.
the time comes.
Right.
Boom, it's there. You don't have to go make copies or find it, or it got sat on or somebody wrote on it or something. It's just,
Right, because the
That's kinda
scanning,
cool.
that was like the biggest hurdle
oh yeah, scanning.
in the portfolios was the scanning. I mean, we still were able to, they did it,
Yeah.
but that was hard.
They're nice
for them.
products.
Mhm. And I don't want every product to be electronic, but surely more of them can be.
So, let's see, I've got a couple more questions. See which one is more. And you kind of touched on this, but are there other specific tools, programs, skills that you might need help with or want to look into further that I can maybe do some legwork on and help implement those?
Yeah, I think just learning more about being able to make small films, like not like, they don't have to be like to the extent that you make yours. But just being able to videotape kids even during class and like be able to look at it and be like, oh, here's, you know, what would the easiest way for me be to do that? And how can we use it as like a tool for them to, oh yeah, look at, I was showing that I was being really negative because thanks David. Because I was showing how I was thinking about my thinking when I answered that question, or I don't know, just like using them as their own evidence.
So you're interested in doing little classroom short videos, and would that be something students would be working on to some extent, doing like, you're saying then maybe they-
Both. Yeah, for them, but also just like, how can we use it as a tool for the whole class? Like that we all just look at it. Like how can that just be kind of our, I don't know, maybe weekly routine?
as a way to assess their learning, or as a way to look at how they conduct themselves?
More of that.
Both.
Both.
And as a way to document the expedition as well, potentially?
Yeah.
So all kinds of just like the sky's the limit, like
Yeah.
how can we use video more effectively
Yeah.
to help us?
And especially for where this class is right now, for like habits of work. I mean, like, when we write on their little thing, oh, you had trouble focus, you know, you weren't totally focused this week. Like, showing them what that looks like. See, we can tell that you weren't focused this week because when you're doing something else, or when you're like staring off at, you know, into space, that shows you're not focused. Look at this person, they look really focused because they're reading and doing their work or whatever. But then also, yeah, assessment for learning too. I mean, anytime that they can just like get up and talk about what they learned, and it doesn't always have to be in writing
Right.
or typing. So I think that could be cool.
Yeah, that's a neat idea. Yeah. I'd like to do some more of that with the students, for sure.
And I think, yeah. And then just for my ability to be able to like put movies together. I don't even know how to do that. I need more experience. Like they're gonna do a play for this investigation, so I think having the play, I mean, I love them to be able to perform the play, but also if we could just have, you know, if we could have a film of the play, that could be really cool too.
Right. We need some movie cameras and some editing software.
Yeah.
Yeah. I use the Mac stuff pretty much exclusively for my video editing because it is so simple and so convenient just everything about it is just silly how easy it is. Whereas like Windows Movie Player and things like that are
Not as intuitive.
not as intuitive, not as simple, not as, and they don't have as many features. It's just loaded with features. I mean, it lets you drop music, and it has a whole bunch of music in a file. It says, what do you want your music to be about? And it's thematic, so you just pick a theme and you just
Awesome.
drop
You
it
don't
in
even
there.
have to.
So lay it in there. You don't have to go looking for music that may or may not be copyrighted. Try and find something that's safe to use, and it's just does a lot of things in a really slick way. And of course, music and all these little pieces add a lot to a video simply, and kids love music, and it, you know, can help them think about what they're trying to express. Does your music playing? So I think it's kind of fun for kids to play with.
You know, that's something I've always wanted that I've never been able to pull together because I don't know what the easiest way to do it. But to have just like songs that represent transitions, so like, so I don't have, because you know, I'm constantly repeating myself, like, blah, 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 same thing over and over again, but to be like, you know, when it's time for them to stack chairs, like this song comes on, when it's time to go to lunch, this song comes on. But like how to just have that, so it's easy for the teacher to hit play. You know, one hit, one
Right,
touch, not
right,
like,
not scroll.
oh God, I gotta turn this on, I gotta.
Right. That's cool.
But that would be really fun if we could have that through middle school, because they love, yeah, they love music. And if it can be kind of kid songs that they're loving right now, don't spare.
Cool. Well, cool. Do you have any questions for me and what we've talked about? Anything to?
No, I think the most pressing thing will be, well, maybe just a way to do vocabulary. Maybe start there. And then, so I think you and I are just meeting again on Google Classroom, which I know we've already done, but again, to see, I just need to start using it more. But if we could do our daily vocab somewhere where they can have easy access to it.
Is that in humanities?
They do it in science too. I mean, they have a word every day in science, so it could be both classes. Because, yeah, the note cards, the